Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to Parabek Weekly Wrap-Up with me, Ahmad Fadhil. The visitation study of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic boarding school in improving the quality of student in dormitory. Saturday, February 4, 2023, the head of dormitory of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic boarding school, Ustaz Taufik Hidayat STI MPD, Deputy Head of Dormitory Ustazah Kartika SPDI, and 42 boarding teachers held a study visit to Diniyah Pasya Agam Islamic boarding school. This visit was also accompanied by the Islamic boarding school caretaker Ustaz Haji Muhammad Zaki Munawar LC. The arrival of school delegation was welcomed by the principal of Diniyah Pasya Islamic boarding school, Buya Dr. Randers Haji Nawazir Mukhtar LC. In his remarks, Buya Dr. Randers Haji Nawazir Mukhtar LC was very thankful for the visit of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic boarding school. Two school delegations exchanged information each other about the dormitory management. He also explained about how the students were not allowed to speak in region language, while speaking in Indonesian was only allowed in the first year. Students directly practiced what they got at school. About the vocabulary, the students were not given a word to translate instead of showing them the real object to mention. The caretaker of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic boarding school said, according to Buya Dr. Randers Haji Nawazir Mukhtar LC, that the language application in Diniyah Pasya was running very well. The meeting that was conducted at this auditorium building of Campus 4 Diniyah Pasya was discussing about the system management and learning pattern applied by the Diniyah Pasya Islamic boarding school in building the student character in dormitory. For information only, dormitory of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic boarding school consisted of 5 complex dormitories of Zuhud 1, 2, and 3 was for the student of junior and senior high school. Located at Campus 1, the Mahabbah 1 was for female senior high school student and located at Campus 1. The Mahabbah 2 was for female junior high school student and located at Campus 3. Every dormitory had its own discussing specialties. Zuhud 1 complex discussed more about religious activity. Zuhud 2 focused on discipline. Zuhud 3 focused on cleanliness. Mahabbah 1 focused on education and Mahabbah 2 focused on the language.
Kami dari Lembaga Pondok Pesantren Diniyah sangat gembira sekali dengan kunjungan dari Pondok Pesantren Sumatera Thawalib. Mudah-mudahan dengan adanya kebersamaan dan keterbukaan ini kita sama-sama maju. Kita tidak ada istilahnya persaingan, tetapi kita melakukan kompetisi pastakul khairat.
Kami dari Parabek hari ini melakukan kunjungan silaturahmi tepatnya ke Pondok Pesantren Modern Diniyah Pasya. Alhamdulillah, Buya kita mau menerima dan tentu ini adalah kunjungan yang bermakna buat kita di Parabek dan terutama tentu buat ustadz-ustadzah guru asrama yang ada di Parabek. Salah satu tujuannya tentu juga melihat bagaimana pola yang dilakukan oleh Pondok Pesantren Modern Diniyah Pasya terkait dengan segala aspek kepengasuhan yang ada di asrama. Dan alhamdulillah hari ini kita mendapatkan cukup banyak pengalaman mungkin dari apa yang sudah dijalankan oleh Pondok Pesantren Modern Diniyah Pasya ini, dan tentu ini juga nanti akan kita coba jalankan dan lakukan juga di Sumatera Thawalib Parabek.
The exchange of information related to dormitory management between Diniyah Pasya Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic boarding school was considered to be able to improve the learning system and discipline for the student in dormitory, especially the student of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic boarding school. The workshop of Gramedia publisher improving student writing literacy. Tuesday, Tuesday, February 7, 2023, Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic Boarding School Bukit Tinggi Agam conduct a workshop ngaji literasi with Gramedia. The workshop was divided into two sessions. This first session was started at 11 a.m. with them Menulis Itu Mudah with Wahyu Raharjo as a speaker, who was the general manager of Gramedia Publishing too. This event was located at Campus 1 of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic Boarding School, Bukit Tinggi Agam. This literacy program was attended by students from senior and junior high school. The representatives of school organization and the university student of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic Boarding School. On this occasion, the participants were introduced the way and tips in writing and how a person should start writing. Moreover, a person can make money only by writing. For a beginner who want to write, there were some aspects that they need to know, such as the reason of writing, how to get an idea in writing, how to start writing. Mr. Wahyu said that the first time he worked in Gramedia, he wasn't an author yet, but there came a time where he wanted to upgrade his skill. At the time, he started to think about his own writing. That motivated him to write his first book entitled What Apa Sukses Kalau Nggak Happy, that was published in 2014. He also stated that writing could release his emotional problem. After writing, the writer was suggested to show or share the result of writing to the closer people so that they could get critics and input so that in the future the writer could get better in writing. The last point that he conveyed in his literacy study was how a written work could be published and brings result. He explained that the condition for a work could be published where the writing that was made did not contain element of sara, pornography, the writing was an original result or idea, and had interesting story. If this aspect is blended, later the writing work that the student make can be published and get the royalty or profit for the scale. The second session of writing literacy workshop started at 2 p.m. with the theme Ada Profesi Bernama Penulis with Boy Chandra as a speaker. He is a well-known writer, running bestseller award, and has written more than 20 books. His first book was Origami Hati, which was published 9 years ago, and in 2022, he also published a book with the title Tulus Untuk Orang Yang Salah. In this session, some of school leaders and teachers also presented, such as the caretaker of Islamic boarding school, Ustadz Muhammad Zaki Munar LC, the principal of Madrasah Sanawiyah, Ustadz Ujang STHI MA, and the vice principal curriculum Aliyah, Ustadz Irwan LC. In his speech, the caretaker of Islamic boarding school was very happy with the arrival of Boy Chandra as a guest speaker in the second session of this workshop. He also said that in his activity, the student and female student had to listen to motivation and direction from the speaker. He also added that the literacy was not something to be afraid of. According to Mas Boy, writing was a way to convey anxiety in a person. It could be in the form of anxiety at school, dormitory, about lesson, friend, but it was expressed in written form. It took inner anxiety, knowledge, understanding of writing techniques, and imagination in making a piece of writing. The write a story and idea was needed in the form of premise that can underline the entire storyline. Forming a story framework outline as a map or direction for solving, research, and setting a deadline for making a story. Boy Chandra had earned quite an amount of money. He had written many books and his work had been read by many people. On the last session, Mas Boy gave several questions to the participants. For those who were able to answer the question, would be given a prize. The literacy event was closed by signature of the novel written by Mas Boy and taking photos together. The handover of assistance for the victim of the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. Wednesday, 8 February 2023, in the hall of the Zuhud 1 complex, Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic Boarding School, Bukit Tinggi Agam, had held a solidarity event that in the form of support and prayer for the Muslim brother affected by the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. This activity was attended by Ustadz Taufik Hidayat STHI MPD as the head of the Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic Boarding School Dormitory. The male and female teacher of the dormitory, together with all the students, were presenting in this event. The head of Asar Humanity of Sumbar, Mr. Denny Marlesi, and his entourage is also present in this event. The event was started at 7 p.m. After dusk. It began by the opening from the moderator, the reciting Quran, the reciting prayer, the brief remark from the head of dormitory of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic boarding school, the brief remarks from the head of Asar Humanity of West Sumatra, the belly voice art performance by Sakila, Safari Kisah Teladan with Sister Dila and Dino from Asar Humanity. In this activity, the head of dormitory as well as representing the caretaker of the Islamic boarding school expressed their condolence for the earthquake that occurred in Turkey and Syria on Monday, 6 February 2023 with a magnitude of 7.8. This earthquake caused severe damage and took many lives. For this reason, through the UPZ Unit Pengumpulan Zakat, the Sumatera Thawalib Parabek boarding school provide assistance in form of cash in an amount of 4,480,000. Submission of social funding assistance by the head of dormitory who was also in charge of the UPZ Sumatera Islamic boarding school Thawalib Parabek Bukit Tinggi Agam, Ustaz Taufik Hidayat, STHI MPD, the leadership of Asar Humanity West Sumatra. It was hoped that this aid fund can help or ease the burden on our brother and sister who are being affected by the earthquake. Focusing on resulting the Islamic scholar Cadres, Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic boarding school opening the Diniyah formal education. This year, Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic boarding school Bukit Tinggi Agam would organize a new education unit in the form of the PDF, Diniyah Formal Education. Program for the Ulia education level. The Ulia level of the Diniyah Formal Education unit was equivalent to the Islamic Senior High School level, according to Minister of Religion Regulation Number 13 of 2014, concerning the Islamic Religious Education Article 1, Number 7 explained that Diniyah Formal Education is Islamic religious education institution organized by and located in Islamic boarding school in a structured and tiered manner on the formal education pathway of Ula, Wusa, and Ulia. This means that PDF is a separate education unit, separate from Madrasah Sanawiyah and Aliyah levels. The government had also held a special final exam for PDF, Imtihan Watani, on a national scale. PDF graduates will also be awarded a diploma in accordance with statutory provision. The certificate was also valid for entering public, private Islamic university and even for applying to study in Middle East. Based on the degree of the Director General of Islamic Education number 3051, the Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Bukit Tinggi Agam Islamic Boarding School had been granted permission to carry out PDF Ulia operation on June 6, 2022. For the 2023-24 academic year, the PDF was specifically for junior high school students at Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic Boarding School Bukit Tinggi Agam of the class 9 who will continue to Aliyah level. Not yet open to public, Alhamdulillah, there were more than 34 students of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic Boarding School Bukit Tinggi Agam who had registered to PDF and had met the standard requirement for organizing a minimum PDF of 30 people. This new education unit was different from the religious department at senior high school level of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic Boarding School Bukit Tinggi Agam. According to information from the Deputy for PDF Curriculum, Ustadz Wahyudi Rahman LC MAG, in terms of content, the learning curriculum is denser in terms of the yellow book that the religious department at Islamic High School PDF was dominated by Kitab Kuning lesson rather than general lesson. PDF Ulia of Sumatera Thawalib Parabek Islamic Boarding School Bukit Tinggi Agam in the future will be directly supervised by the caretaker of Islamic Boarding School, Ustadz Muhammad Zaki Munawar LC. He was also in charge of implementing the first grade Ulia PDF for the 2023-2024 academic years. That's all the news for today. Thank you so much for your attention. I am Ahmad Fadhil. See you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.